What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. We continue our trauma-inducing journey into The Last of Us. Nikki, I don't know if I'm quite recovered from last episode.
I would attest to that, because me neither.
Starting now? You don't have to remind us what happened. Trust me, I don't think we're gonna forget anytime soon.
I think that I can speak very confidently. It's seared into our brains.
Yeah.
I saved your life.
What life?
Ugh.
Fucking wrong.
She got Ellie right where it hurts. Right in the Joel. Man, I don't like Falcon like this.
I was gonna say.
What happened to you, Joaquin?
Ugh. That's the craziest thing is Joel's death honestly almost overshadowed all the other stuff that happened, even though all of that was insane.
Yeah, but at least they'll have mushrooms.
Ugh. Because now we get to find out all the casualties and just the damage that caused.
I mean, we also get to see Tommy's reaction.
Yeah.
Oh. The watch.
Give Sarah my love.
Oh. What a fantastically subdued performance by Gabriel Luna. Holy shit. Like, the hairs on my arm are like standing up right now.
I know, because of all the ways for us to have watched that, I don't think I would have expected that, but I think that's even more profound than we could have
It's
asked
heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking.
Ellie! Mm.
This might be one of them Emmy episodes that they talk about.
Yeah. And honestly, it's still gutting to see Pedro removed.
It's weird. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, where do we go from here? Like, it's such a fascinating episode because where do they go from here? Where do us as the audience go from here?
Yeah, because honestly, that's a huge reason I'm anticipating this, is because I truly have no idea what the direction could be now.
I even when I thought I knew what the show would be, it does something completely different. Now, are they so cruel that they took him out of here? Oh my God, they did.
Do you know, like, this is a very morbid reference? You know what this makes me think of?
I'm afraid to ask what.
X-Men.
Remember it.
X-Men.
97.
Oh, X-Men 97, yeah.
Because it has that same gutting, like...
I feel like I've removed that trauma from my mind.
I know, but I think it just is to show the impact of once you lose those characters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Those episodes were so important because of, spoiler alert, Gambit's death. I like how there's a little time jump because we don't need to live with that pain.
Yeah, because I mean, we already showed the reactions of Tommy and Ellie, and to just kind of hammer that over and over again.
Hammer. Damn, I wish I look as good as Tommy and Joel when I'm close to 60 and or 61.
Your pain, scale of 1 to 10.
Nothing. 0.
0. 'Cause I'm not a bitch.
So can I just...
Almost. I just need you to see one more person, then you're good to go.
Mental health check.
I know, but it's the responsible thing to do.
I knew it.
It's really complicated because feelings.
Okay.
Hold time with them.
It shouldn't, but it often does.
She's 100% bullshitting right now. This is not
My
Ellie.
last moment with Joel.
I know, but she's really good at it.
I wish I could have let him off the hook for whatever it was he was talking about.
I mean, maybe this is sincere.
I'll have to let myself off the hook for that.
As someone who is sarcastic and deflects away from intense emotional situations, I think I know what that looks like, and that's what that looks like.
Everyone were as healthy as you. What I do for weed and booze.
She's so wonderful.
Yes.
I'm so glad they added her.
I know. No, because that was wild to find out is that she's not in the game.
Yeah, we were told that she's not in the games, which I think is fascinating. But I guess a psychologist doesn't really work in a game, but it definitely works in a TV show.
Yeah, just narratively speaking, because it's very realistic for people to be grappling with that.
Especially, I think it's wonderful to have that in this type of town. That's crazy. Damn, people wrote him letters. Oh, he was woodworking.
And doing a pretty damn good job of it for what it looks like.
Oh, his belongings. There's something really interesting about that shot where she chooses to move the watch to the side and instead picks up the firearm.
Oh, yeah.
Something really like narratively interesting about that. And I can't quite put my finger on what the message is there, but I'm sure I'll think about it more as the episode goes on.
I would just take it to mean that for as much as she misses him, her mind just kind of goes straight to her anger and potential vengeance.
Yeah, I think it's more of like choosing to, instead of remember the time she had with this person, time being the operative word there, she's accepting the fact that she wants revenge.
Yeah. Which, if anything, I would assume mirrors Abby.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be mirror images of each other.
Ah, that's okay. You would have done the same for me.
Yeah, maybe not as often.
I made you cookies
Oh?
Nice.
Ooh.
because I'm about to make you angry.
Oh.
Maybe let them get there.
That checks out.
Yeah.
I loved him too, you know.
He's not your dad. But he could have been. Like if they got married.
Oh, my God.
You know what? I'm sorry I support their relationship, Nikki.
I wasn't against that.
What kind of cookies are those?
I was going to say, they look like they're squares.
They look like oatmeal raisin cookies,
Okay, let's start
which
with
I like,
names.
but they're not everyone's favorites.
No.
LF. And then I remembered a story Eugene told me from back when he was a Firefly.
Wolf.
WLF. Wolf. Fucking morons.
So now what?
We eat these cookies.
That's a good plan. I do have to say this. What's interesting about that scene is if Dina wasn't originally with Ellie and Joel when he was killed, I wonder how that plays out.
That's a good question.
So are you.
We get where you're coming
No,
from.
we don't
but-
get where you're coming from. I don't get where you're coming from.
He also has a family.
See, this is really interesting. It shows a real maturity and growth to Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the least bit unreasonable.
This seems like bureaucratic bullshit, which means it's going to end poorly.
Yeah, but I mean, given Tommy's position, I get it.
Information on me again. You got rendering detail for a month.
Since when do we have city council meetings about vengeance? Imagine Batman
I know.
had to go to the city council. I really love this side of Tommy. I love that they let him grow and that they let him be smart and that they let him show that he is
He's
not
trying-
just like driven insane.
No, he's thinking of the bigger picture. He has his own family.
He has to. He's
Yeah.
forced to as a leader in this community. Is that Green Arrow? Also, not for nothing, that's a terrible back quiver. Oh, they all have
Oh,
arrows. It's the Hunger Games?
I should remember this. Is it 3?
Maybe, probably.
Once we get resettled, teach you to whistle.
Why do they all have like
A scar?
kind of like a Glasgow smile, but not really?
but we keep ourselves safe.
Okay, so got it. They're a cult.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
All right.
They're the Hammer cult.
You feel safer?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Take cover!
See, like, I find this fast. Like, this is what I love about this show and this world.
Yeah.
The world building and the different systems that they create and the different communities they create.
Yeah.
And I'm so curious what this is, why they're whistling, using different variations of whistles to communicate.
Yeah, why they have the scars. All the women have the same hairstyle.
Push-ups?
Yeah, crunches when they weren't working.
Yeah, that'll do it. Which is 80% of where you should have been.
Whatever, fuck you. Seriously, it's me.
I know.
Dude, you were there.
Dude.
Write them down and then read them out loud tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, because I'm stupid.
Ellie. And no one's gonna vote for angry.
That's very sound advice.
I hate how everyone's being so smart. I wish everyone was dumber.
Which is what?
Because I'm angry.
And it is too soon.
Thank you, Rachel.
Sound advice.
I know.
It sucks that everyone is kind of justified here.
But that's always what's been great about the show.
I know, right?
For mercy. Those sons of bitches don't deserve our mercy.
Oh,
Of course they don't deserve it. That's what makes it mercy.
what a twist.
What a twist!
Down with you for saying it, Carlisle.
Oof.
And you'll all deserve it.
Wow.
Goddamn victims.
I hate that. I kind of agree with him. And she hates it too.
I normally don't write things down because I normally don't think before I talk. You used to give people. I want justice. Because that thing got busted through, but Jackson is still here.
Wow.
Hell of a speech.
Thank you.
I feel like Ellie deserved that.
Yes. Oh, I agree.
A party of 16 citizens of Seattle to find the people who killed Joel and...
Where'd they go with 16 is what I'm wondering.
Feel like they did the math. Feel like they need tactical advantage. They assume that their squad, the Wolves, are a small amount, which is what Dina said.
Yeah.
16 to have the number advantage and to watch each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a sound number.
It is. But kind of like they brought up, hopefully that doesn't leave the town high and dry.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if it's going to come down to the wire.
You know it is.
No.
I've lost count. But no's are winning.
No.
Oof.
Ooh.
The proposal is rejected.
Damn.
Okay, I was wrong.
Whew.
Whoa.
They have a little league?
Here we go.
I love her so much.
Oh, shit. This actually isn't that far off from the O3 squad. Process it all. I'm the only one here.
What do you do then?
That's such a real thing to
as much
say.
weed as I can. Complete fucking disaster.
Legend.
What, you didn't believe her speech?
Did you?
Of course not. She's a liar.
Oh.
The rest is nature. If she's on a path, it's not one that Joel put her on.
I mean, I disagree with that, but
I think they were...
I think a lot of people
side
have
by side.
varying opinions on that.
yeah.
One thing we know, though, is Ellie is very much her own person.
Absolutely.
Who is it? Dina. Going to bed.
No, I don't think that is where you're going. Beaver on your well-charted path northwest.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do?
Man, everyone is so smart.
Everyone is so smart. And Ellie is just like
Herself.
herself.
Really? Shoot your damn ass off? But you're not crossing open country in fucking chucks.
I've done it before.
No chucks. Now you do.
Aw.
Nice. Oh,
Aw, I
what
mean-
a twist.
I mean, it's not, after what happened, that's not a surprise.
Our cause?
You're the one that gave the us speech, not me.
At least she's consistent.
Yeah.
Oh, did she go to see him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Aw.
what a shot.
Fleetwood Mac.
Nope.
Aw.
No, it's my
What
opinion.
the hell?
Yeah,
That's
well,
sweet. They're
your
playing a
opinion is
game.
wrong.
Yeah, but that's
G.
Green Day.
No, you're wrong.
Wait, would they have even known Green Day?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
how
mean-
does she know Fleetwood Mac?
I mean, if stuff was preserved,
I'm
I guess.
assuming like Joel got her into it.
Oh, yeah.
Fun stories of childhood.
Okay, well, the first one's too fucked up. You feel sorry for me.
I'm just loyal like that.
That's okay.
Uh-huh.
She's so good at like being an outdoors person.
I know. Damn it. Now I am thinking about the Hunger Games.
Why is someone gonna turn themselves into a rock?
I wonder if that would have been effective against the infected.
That's how she's gonna beat Abby. She's gonna appear from a rock. I tricked you.
Oh, God.
Okay, but I have a stupid question. And, you know, the kid.
Ooh.
Scale of 1 to 10.
No. Okay, fine, 6.
Fuck you, 6.
That's not.
You can go back to Jesse. I already did.
What?
He was sad.
Jesse?
Yeah. I think deep inside that's just how he is. Then it's me.
Interesting. I thought they were together.
Yeah. Well, they're on and off. And
I meant her and Ellie.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, they had kissed, but I don't think they had solidified anything.
That's weird. Dina, you're all over the place. You're sending all kinds of messages.
I mean, yes and no, but I think they kind of just conveyed that neither of them were like super with it.
Interesting.
Ooh,
See?
never mind.
See, the messages are all over the place.
To be fair, they had a lot of shit they were dealing with, and they're young.
Quit playing games with my heart, Dina.
Oh, God.
He was
One of
running
those
away.
people.
Dina.
Why did you just walk off? Oh. That can't be good.
You think?
This is just.
Oh, God. Do I not want to look
How
at this?
bad is it that I made Dina sick? They've seen some shit at this point. Oh, the kid. Do you think this was self-inflicted? Like,
Well-
really cult?
Well, no. Don't you remember that Wolf was on their tail? Or that's what the guy thought was happening. And if they don't have firearms, they had the hammers.
It didn't look like they were shot, though. It looked like she was bleeding from the nose. It looked like, so I'm thinking poison.
I guess we'll maybe find out.
If Abby and her crew did this to people, to kids.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Which then poses the question of what was the motive with them?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Was it Wolf? What did, and if it was,
Why?
damn. Why the kids? Like, that doesn't seem like something that Abby and co would do, but we don't really know them that well.
But that's what I think is making this interesting, is they're reintegrating a mystery aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
Yeah. Too quiet.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Survivor.
Both in all 4 movies. 9 more.
It's very quiet for being 9 miles out of a major metropolitan. Even in a post-apocalyptic world. I don't know. I guess we don't really know what happened to the cities.
Yeah.
Like, after, in this all this time, like what happened with Fedra and everything.
Plus, no one's shooting at us.
That's a plus.
Big plus.
No, that was just me. I was trying to sound like a badass.
Storm clouds coming in. What a year for Danny Ramirez.
I know, right?
Was in a major blockbuster, Marvel movie. Now he's in one of the biggest shows on television. And as of tomorrow, he will start shooting Avengers Doomsday, I'm assuming. Or one of the, or very, very soon. Okay, that seems like their assessment is wrong. There seems to be a lot of wolves. Oh, God. There are a lot of wolves.
Yeah, maybe not fireflies, but definitely wolves.
I hate how they're using my symbol.
The wolf?
The wolf.
Wait, when did that become your symbol?
As a protector of dogs, that extends to their immediate family, which are wolves. That's a lot.
That is insane. Like, yikes. What a shot to end that on.
Which again shows like the ignorance of kind of just rushing into things without fully understanding the situation.
Mm-hmm. Like, I hate to say it, but thank goodness they didn't send the 16 out.
I know. Another fantastic episode. I think
Yes.
this episode is structured extremely well. I think the first half is really a reflection on the mourning process. And there's some really raw stuff that they do in this episode in particular that really is triggering for people that have lost someone, and very reminiscent of feelings if you ever have lost someone extremely close to you, or multiple people that were extremely close to you. That feeling of walking, like when she walked back into Joel's house.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just looking at everything that's left untouched, and she's just overcome by this wave of emotion, smelling the clothes, because it's just like you would give anything just to feel that person one more time, and just to go up to those clothes and to smell them is like they're still existing in the world that you're living in. And that was really heartbreaking and traumatic to see. And I really appreciate them for doing that, because it shows really where Ellie's head's at. She's not as well put together as she made it seem in that first sequence that she was in with the doctor. And like, again, that image of her kind of pushing the watch aside to go for the gun is still sticking with me, because it definitely is showing her choosing to ignore Joel and the memories she made with him, and choosing to go for that gun, because no matter what, she only has one thing on her mind.
No, absolutely. And I think that's what's so interesting is, like you said, to where she definitely doesn't have it all together. She has these moments. And I think that's probably true for a lot of people, to where even when you want to be composed, you want to have some semblance of control in the face of something so tragic that was out of your hands. But everyone has those moments of weaknesses, those moments of vulnerability where it's not, I think it's a cliche, but it's not healthy to deny your feelings in those cases. And you need to take that time to process your grief in ideally healthy ways. Obviously, they're in a very unusual circumstance, but I think, like you said, the way they handled it was really effective.
I also really love seeing how Jackson handled the situation. I don't know. I doubt they had a bureaucracy section in the game, but it's something that I really appreciate because one, it shows that Tommy is an actual person and he's not the immature man we met in the first episode of the series, that he's grown. And we saw that last season. And I love how they didn't regress him this season and make him bloodthirsty and revenge driven, because that would have definitely hurt his character and would have definitely regressed the character that we've seen the show make of him in the past 2 seasons. So I really love how he was just like, listen, we got to bring this to the council. We got to take this to a vote. And it was fascinating, even though we as the audience are like, oh, it's just government.
I would push back on that a little bit because I do think when Joel is reunited with him in, I believe it was the 6th episode of the first season, he had already kind of shown to have had at least a little bit of that development because he had been in Jackson.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that it's something that it's kind of culminated like over time, but I think it's been an interesting progression. I think he already kind of had that a bit when we last saw him at that point, but it's gotten to a point where it's very much a solidified part of his character, but it is entirely reasonable and he's still able to be genuinely empathetic.
Yes, no, I get that. And what I was trying to say was, I'm trying to say is, yes, we had that great development last season. So if he were to turn more into Joel this season, it would be regression for the character. That's what I was trying to say.
Gotcha.
Because I do appreciate what the show, and I think that it was different from the games. I don't think that Tommy was at that maturity level yet in the games. I don't know. I've never played them, but let us know in the comments. But I really love what they're doing with him here because it is showing that, unlike Joel, he was able to mature and become a better person.
Yeah.
Whereas even he says Joel couldn't let things go.
Yeah, and I think that little tidbit of the conversation with him and Gale was so interesting to the point where it was so embedded in Joel's character from what he saw that he became concerned that it rubbed off on Ellie.
Yeah.
And I think that's very valid and that's what I really liked about the way they portrayed kind of making the decision for Jackson as a whole is the fact that even with people having varying opinions, I think what they did so beautifully was you don't dislike anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's valid. Everyone is reasonable. Everyone is sympathetic to different degrees. Even like, I can't remember the old dude's name. He was quite aggressive with how he presented it. But
it's not. Is it Seth?
I
maybe. Possibly.
Either way, it's like, was he aggressive as hell? Yes. But I also can't say he was wrong.
No, and I think that's what's really cool about this show and why this show is so well written. It could take a city council meeting and make you emotionally invested in finding out what the city council voted on because, one, they make everyone in Jackson have a good reason for wanting to fight or not wanting to fight. So we as the audience, we're bouncing back and forth because we know what we want. Mm-hmm. We're bloodthirsty animals watching a television show. We want to see Ellie get revenge for Pedro Pascal because who could do that to poor Pedro, even though it happens to him in almost everything he's in.
No.
But so we as the audience, we're like, no, that's Papa. That's Daddy. You can't do that to Daddy. So we're like, get her. But then the people are like, listen, we've all lost someone. This is extremely rough for us. And you're asking us to give you more than we feel comfortable giving you.
Yeah, especially if they're depleted in resources and are trying to regrow from that. Because, like I said at the front, is Joel's death kind of overshadowed the just like the devastation that they experienced, which that on its own would have made the last episode. Never mind everything else that happened. So that's completely valid.
And it's also fascinating because the second half of this episode almost became like a hard reset. For this season, and it feels like almost a soft reboot of season 1.
Yeah, because that's what I think is so interesting is I think it's fair to assume that Ellie would want some kind of revenge, regardless of what she calls it. But I didn't necessarily know, is she gonna now have this new adventure in similarity with the first season? And so far, that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, and I love Dina. I love Dina being a foil to Ellie because to have someone like Joel go with Ellie, to have like a Tommy go with Ellie, it would be too intense. It would be too dark, too intense. It would bring us as the audience down too far. Yeah,
you also don't want it to be redundant either because firstly, there's no way a Tommy type would go with her anyway at this point, but it just makes it more interesting. because it does make me wonder how they're going to grapple with all this. Are they going to, knowing Ellie, she's not going to run off, but
No.
interesting just kind of just anticipating what their reaction is going to be and how they handle it now.
Yes. And we're getting to the stuff that made the first season very exciting. Not that the season was not exciting, because trust me, it was too exciting. But we're getting into more lore building. We're getting into like teases for next episode, which is stuff that really was exciting about the episodes in the first season, especially us not knowing. It's just like, whoa, how are they going to fight 100 wolf soldiers?
Yeah, I don't know if this is weird to say, but I think for this season, you could almost read the first episode as a prologue of sorts, because it was very much kind of reestablishing the status quo, showing where everyone is after the time skip, and just more just letting us kind of know where everything stood in the present. And stuff was revealed that is very important to the story, but it was definitely the second episode where the action and plot really kicked into gear. And I feel like that was strategic, regardless of what happened in the games. I think that was honestly kind of a smart move, because with everything that happened in the second episode, if that was like, it would still have been great, but if that was the season debut, like that would have been kind of a lot at once.
It would have been too much.
So for this one, even though there was a lot that still happened, I think it was in a lot of ways still a bit of a breather from the last episode while still advancing the story.
Yeah, it definitely was a two-hander. It shifted tones in the middle somewhere, and I really appreciate it for doing that. And I love the themes we're playing with this season. Last season was very much morality and heroism, selflessness and selfishness. And this season's very much revenge and justice. Like, where's the line? Where's the line, and what could that do to you? Abby's a prime example of what vengeance, what revenge can do to a person. And is Ellie going down that same path, and can she be saved? Which I think is going to be really fascinating to see. And I really can't wait for these writers, these spectacular writers, to really play with those themes and get us into the minds of both of these characters.
Yeah, because I think the other thing to keep in mind is the story of revenge is a tale as old as time, but it's definitely this setting that makes it all the more fascinating.
Yes.
Because they have all these other X factors to deal with. I'm blanking on her name, but Melanie Linsky's character was also a bit of a peek into that. And we see what happened with her when she let that get to her head. So seeing it in this very personal circumstance, I'm just excited to see how it unfolds.
If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest content. If you want to check out our other The Last of Us reactions, click the link on the page. And until next time, guys, stay versed.